Hello, everyone. So it's Sam and Fee here, and we're joined by the lovely Katherine and Lisa from the People's Health Alliance. How are you, ladies? Thank you for joining us.
Yeah, really good. Thank you.
So it's been, we spoke to you, it must have been a month or so ago, and it was really exciting. You had quite a lot of hubs going on, but in the last month, it has just exploded, hasn't it? Not only have you got, what count are you up to now in UK hubs?
About 100, roughly.
Yeah. Incredible. It's got to have doubled in the last month.
There's an average of about 120 people in each of those, so the numbers are rapidly, so it's really exciting.
And you've got a lot of hubs that are acquiring premises, and there's a lot of fundraising events and stuff going on. So much development in these hubs, which is incredible. And I believe you are following, I think it was your interview, Katherine, with Pam, that you are now branching out and taking over the world.
Yeah, on the back of it, we had a number. We'd had about, I think it was 3 or 4 countries at that point reach out. They'd heard of us somehow and said, we'd really like to bring the PHA Blueprint over to our country, which is fantastic. And then since then, Lisa, where are we sat now in terms of the number of countries?
We now have 17 countries that want to roll out the PHA Blueprint, and those groups are growing every day. So once a country has more than 2 or more people, we are setting up Telegram groups, so they're talking to each other. I think when I looked yesterday, Australia has over 150 people in there already, and this has all been in the last week. So we're all getting together on a Zoom meeting on the 13th so that we can discuss how we can best support them rolling out in their country. But the response has just been phenomenal, absolutely blown away by it. And people, if I could read you some of the comments, it was heartwarming. Mad crazy week last week, just trying to respond to all the inquiries. But the words people were using, that what we're doing is phenomenal, and we're just helping so much, and we've given them hope, and they're so excited about it. It was absolutely heartwarming to read it all. So it's really
amazing.
Exciting.
So for anyone that has kind of missed the hubbub about the People's Health Alliance, can you give just a short sort of summary introduction for anyone who's not heard of you, about what it's all about, what you're doing?
Yeah, absolutely. So it really initially was in response to the government pushing for the NHS mandates, jab mandates, that we knew there was going to be some holes. We could see the NHS wasn't doing well anyway and hadn't been for a number of years, but we knew that things were going to just get worse. So what we wanted to do is create a kind of safety net situation in communities, just initially in a very much a primary care kind of situation, but we wanted to ensure we took the opportunity to integrate holistic practitioners and their work into that primary care level, along with allopathic. We're welcoming doctors and nurses and so forth, midwives, etc. as well, dentists, because a lot of these guys are pretty sick and tired of what they're seeing within the NHS, and we're taking it back to community level. So the model that's been built ensures that the power returns to the people, it returns to the communities, they get choice, they get options, and we're making sure we put systems into place so nobody slips through the net. As it's happened and we've moved along, like everything we seem to be doing, because it's organic and we're having to be reactive, we've got some practitioners now looking at what some secondary care could look like. That wasn't something that was originally on the map, but that's happening. We've also got a vaccine injury database that will be coming into play in the next couple of months, which will help practitioners and healers discuss amongst themselves treatments, if you like, protocols that are working in treating some elements of vaccine injuries. And also now, in response to the fact that the ambulance system is not doing well, and A&E is clearly, the waiting times are ridiculous now, because what we're finding also, outside of necessarily injuries caused by certain sticky things, what we're also seeing is that GPs unfortunately quite often aren't dealing with things effectively, so people are having to turn up in A&E. So we've now launched a crisis appeal through the Power of the Pan campaign, and what we're looking to do is fund for emergency equipment, first aid equipment, and advanced first aid training in each community through the hubs, so that at least if people can't get through to 999 and get the response they need, or are left alone for some time, or if it's a dire emergency situation, God forbid someone has a heart attack or something, there at least may well be people within the community who can respond quickly and hopefully sustain life, but certainly be with people so they're not scared or alone or suffering on their own. You know, we can put that support network into place. So it's gone from a very basic model into something so much bigger, but people want it, people see it, and they're excited about it because it gives them back the power. You know, they can take back the power to help manage this in their own communities.
And great people are finding us as well, you know, which is accelerating these things. It's, you know, so it really is. It's such an organic movement. And we just let it flow. We deal with it.
Yeah.
And some days we say, oh, we really need somebody that's an expert in such a thing. And then the next day the universe delivers and this person presents themselves. It's quite amazing, really.
Before, weren't we, when we chatted before, that the people want this.
Yeah,
so much.
And that's why the growth is so huge, because people want it, but they just need that little spark, something they can get involved in. And because it is all about empowering us to take our control back, to get involved, people they've lost that feeling of control over so many aspects of their lives.
Yeah.
And be able to have that
empowering.
It is.
Yeah.
That's why
it's about hope as well.
Yeah.
About hope. A lot of people have lost hope. And actually we're showing there is tons of hope and there's tons of things to get excited for, because what we're doing is we're taking away the control from, you know, the centralized forces, if you like, and we're returning it back to the people, and people see it happening in real time. And it brings so much hope, because actually all of this is simple. None of this is difficult. It's actually really, really simple.
Is so simple. Yeah.
And that's the beauty of it, because there's nothing complex here. Everybody can get involved, and we'll reveal our next project in a minute, but when we come to it. But there are so many ways people can get involved, and none of this is difficult. And people see now that it has to happen. And actually, you know, we can do this on next, you know, not a massive budget. When you think of NHS budgets, we're proving how much money has been wasted there by showing what can be done on so much less.
And it's important for people to know that we've all got skills that can contribute to this. You don't have to be a health practitioner. People kind of think that, oh, well, I've got no medical background, or I'm not a holistic practitioner. We need everybody. I've got no medical background. We need people, we need admin, we need website builders, we need
plumbers, electricians,
exactly. We need
finance
everybody.
People.
Yeah, that's also what we touched on a lot before, is that any of these community projects and initiatives, there is something everyone can contribute. Absolutely everybody. We're all as important as each other. And again, it's about bringing back that sense of empowerment where you feel worthy and that you are contributing, and everybody's different, everybody's got different gifts and talents, and a lot of the time they're untapped. Like you won't actually realise until they don't
realise they've got them. And
then so this is a chance for everyone to shine and come together. And I mean, this is just to
teach our children.
Absolutely.
I mean, I think very carefully about what we now teach our children, and we want to keep hold of those old values. You know, there's elderly people in our communities that have a wealth of knowledge that could slip away, could be lost forever. We've got to grasp that. And
we've taken that quite literally as well. It's something I've been bleating about for months. Everyone got so bored with me. But something I feel quite strongly with is having a council of elders, and that will be coming to the fore very shortly. Those conversations are being had, and we've had some incredible people who are retired, but you know, really top of their game in what they know, and they've joined forces with us. And I tell you something, they're a powerhouse. These people might be more senior, and they might be retired, but they are not sitting down and just taking it. They are ready to rise up and bring forward their knowledge and their expertise and teach others about what their expertise is and the knowledge that they have, and share that out. And those things are increasingly important. We'd love every community to maybe have their own little council of elders, whereby those in the community who quite often, I'm afraid, are dismissed, are given the opportunity to pass on that knowledge and that expertise. And you know, they've seen it, done it, and got the flipping t-shirt. We need to be listening to these people, and it's happening.
Well, we're all seeing the way the world's being herded and the develops being made in our society. And I think, you know, everybody, regardless of whether they're sort of, you know, feeling the same way about things as we do, will agree that there is a certain level of disillusionment with the way things are moving, you know, the technocracy and the way our health service is going, the way education is. I think there is a lot of people who are kind of really starting to see just how broken many of these systems are. And I think, you know, the beauty, if you can see the beauty of the last 2 years, is that actually it's been the opportunity for all of us to kind of really go, okay, I can see now that it's proper broken. What do we do? And we're at this amazing point now where there are so many of us going, right, okay, I'm going to take responsibility. I'm going to step into my power. I am going to make a difference. I'm going to be that change I want to see in the world. And it really is beautiful to see, really exciting, really grateful.
We're very fortunate. We've got some incredible groups across the UK. I was saying earlier, I've got a meeting on Monday with a number of, you know, group leaders, if you like, for want of a better word, and it's covering off the economic side, the educational side, the law side, and food, education, health, you know, all areas of basic infrastructure across the UK. We've got somebody else who just picked up conversations in terms of transport. That was only a conversation that was started yesterday, but it's fascinating what these guys have got in mind. And all those areas, all those infrastructures, basic infrastructures across the nation that need to be addressed, and finding new ways forward is now happening. So next week, we'll be releasing a great big list of all the different groups across the UK who are creating new infrastructure. And it's very much obviously the same model in terms of returning power back to the people, back to communities. And the fact that it's all being addressed, people can then get involved with what works for them, because not everyone's the same, but it's happening now.
It's that, like you say, the hope is there, because I think sometimes you look at the way society functions, there's so many different aspects, and you just think, my God, how could we ever begin to sort this out, to have something alternative? But it's happening.
And exactly. And collaboration brings it all, bring it all together, and we've already got the groundwork done of the hubs, the community, because they're the guys that are going to be actually,
and everything can feed out,
happen. But yeah, it's really exciting. There's so much going on, so many great movements, and not just in the UK. We're getting global collaboration as well. You know, it's great.
We're not just connecting with individuals globally. We're connecting with other groups who are doing similar things, or they might be a bit smaller and they just want to tap into another network for support, and they're bringing things to the table we hadn't considered, and vice versa. And it is about that collaboration. The time for ego, the time for competition, it's gone. None of us are doing that. None of us. Completely gone. Everybody's there in their own power, supporting each other, and it's bloody beautiful, because actually that's what the new world needs to look like, where we all come together, fling those egos out the window, and do what's best for kind of the greater good for all, if you like. So and that's what's happening, and that's the beauty of it. Not one of these groups that we're working with, and it has been an opportunity to sort the wheat from the chaff as well, because we know there's those out there who maybe have their own agenda, possibly, or, you know, there is some ego still involved there. And through that process, it has sorted the wheat from the chaff. So what's remaining stood, and what groups are coming together, those groups are the ones who have chuck the egos out the window and are there for the greater good and returning power to the people. And it's beautiful how we've all just come together now, and we're going to bring that infrastructure to the people of the UK, and that can be rolled out elsewhere as well.
We have a saying in our household. My kids repeat a lot to me, and that is, teamwork makes the dream work. And I think it couldn't be more true. You know.
Definitely. And I think somebody said to us recently, the Brethren is almost complete.
Most complete, yeah. The Brethren's almost complete.
It's all these people coming together, and it gives me goosebumps actually.
Yeah.
You know, it's just such a wonder, and to think that we're part of it.
Yeah, it seems to have suddenly come together. Like for quite a while, we were like, oh God, you know, desperately trying to get people together, collaborating. It seemed like it just wasn't happening. But we kept the faith, and we've all kept trying. And now it's like, bang, it's happened, and it's just this is the time where we actually see the results.
So everybody listening, get involved.
Yeah.
Find your
so you can find the list of existing hubs. Is that on your website, or do you need to join your Telegram channel or Facebook
Telegram
group?
channel? It is being put on the website. If anyone out there is a website designer with WordPress experience and got some time in their hands, please get in contact, because our guys are working like Trojans to get this done. And it's just because these people have got full-time jobs, they've got families, you know, this is volunteer based still. I've been paid now, which is absolutely wonderful, so I'm not going to starve anytime soon. However, the reality is that this is all volunteer based. This is just incredible people giving up their time and energy, throwing everything at this. This speed does not happen accidentally. This has been driven by people who are determined to do what they can to make a difference and to bring in the new. And I just like to sound very flipping grateful for every single PHA volunteer out there, and all the volunteers that work with other groups, because none of this would happen without you. Genuinely, none of this would happen without you. And these people are incredible. So even if it's not PHA, can you volunteer in some other groups, some other organizations, something in your community? I'd like to take the opportunity whilst we're here, because it's really exciting for me personally, and I think a lot of people will get excited, is in the very near coming weeks, we'll be launching the People's Food and Farming Alliance. Once again, this is going to be based on incredible partnerships and affiliations. There's some amazing groups out there already looking at food production. We will focus on three main elements, which is the grow your own, so supporting people in terms of what they can do at home so they can feel empowered and actually start producing something. We're going to look at, the second one's going to be at community level projects for growing and producing and harvesting and storage and all the rest of it. And the third one's actually what not many groups, I don't think, really have stepped into that space now, as something I'm passionate about, is looking at the farming level, the producers and growers on a much larger level, and actually how we can help them, because this coming autumn winter we risk losing some farmers and producers, because it's just not financially viable for them anymore. And we've got some ideas on how to counter that, but also the future of farming. We know the soil is not looking great. In my personal opinion, and having worked with agronomists and asked the question, I think we've got maybe 7 years left to harvest on the soil that we have available. So actually working on soil health now is far more important than people realise, but there's actually simple ways in which we can do that. So we'll be sharing that information as well. So we're not just connecting at the community level in terms of us as people, we're going to get at that community level to the farmers, to the growers, to the producers, on how we can support them and how we can beneficially eradicate the logistical issues that come into play when you're working on a national basis with the supermarkets, bring it back to the community, bring that production back, bring that sales back, everything that can be done at the local community level. So we're coming in hard on that one. The blueprint's being put together at the moment, and we're not going to be messing about with it, because actually the incoming harvests and seasons aren't looking amazing, but there's things we can do. So we're hoping that PFFA can help lead the way on that as well, and continue to work with our partners and affiliates in the food production line, because there's so much we need to do. But again, it comes back to community, and everyone can get involved and make a difference.
Yeah, it does, absolutely.
And I think a lot of people will want to get involved with that, because we're talking survival issues here.
Yeah.
That's something that everyone's concerned about, and that's where you see the most panic and fear.
Yeah.
It's, my God, the food system, energy, shelter, those basic
It's
human
back to basics.
It really is. So if we know that those are being worked on, that all is not lost.
No, there's hope.
And people can get involved themselves, then that fear starts to dissipate, and people can have a bit more clarity instead of being in a fog of absolute panic. So
people can't see to take action when they're panicking.
Exactly.
When the fear takes hold, it's paralyzing, isn't
Well, I
it?
think as soon
Which
as you
is why
start
they-
to take those steps, as soon as you start to actually take action, the fear does kind of drain away, because you've got that empowerment that, right, okay, well, it may not be perfect, I may not really know exactly what I'm doing, but you are taking that responsibility in yourself. I mean, there's more people than ever before, I think, growing. There was some stats that released the other day about, you know, how many people were growing their own food in their garden, you know, a few years ago compared to now, and it has rocketed. So it's obviously something that does resonate with a lot of people. We've got loads of stuff growing in our garden. I've got these tiny little cucumbers on my cucumber plant. I've never been so excited in all my life.
It's so good for us mentally and emotionally. I said to you, I said yesterday on a call, I said, get out there, get barefoot, get out in the mud, get your hands in the soil. You're going to take in all of that wonderful microorganisms that will soak into your skin, and you'll get the goodness from it. And it's actually really good for our mental well-being to actually get out in the garden and be amongst nature. There's so many benefits to people doing it. And the bottom line of it is, you're gonna have something to eat, and that's fundamentally one of the main things. Now, just so people know, it's incoming. Myself, Lisa and Amanda are going to be doing a kind of 3 Witches of Eastwick type video soon, where we're going to be talking about how people get prepared, what's incoming, how we can take steps to counter the difficulties that are going to be put in front of us over the next 6 months. We do believe we're going to enter into a bit of a dark time for about 6 months or so. I think post midterms we'll see things start to turn, but they're going to chuck everything at us. They're in their death throes. Don't be surprised if they throw everything at us.
Stinks of desperation right now, doesn't it?
And that is them in their death throes. It is like a cornered animal. If I said it once, I've said it a million times. When you corner an animal, what's it going to do? It's going to turn and fight for its life, and that's what they're doing right now. And we're probably going to see that ramped up a bit over the next 6 months. Maybe masks back, new virus, I don't know. They're going to chuck it all at us, but I think we all need to remember that they are cornered animals right now. It is when they're at their most dangerous, but there's so many of us and not them. And the best thing we can do is utterly ignore them, quite honestly. Just get on with building the news.
Get on with what we're doing.
Definitely.
It's what we've always advocated is, of course, you're mindful of everything that's going on. How can you not be? But put your energy and focus on creating new, and we see what happens when people do that, which is what we're seeing now. People are shifting the focus out of the fear and panic and saying, right, what can we do? How can I get involved? And it takes off, doesn't it? So that's where we're at. So the optics might be really quite frightening at times, but like you say, it's the death throes. They're definitely at the most dangerous because they're defending their very lives. But we hold the power here. We always have done. We're taking it back. And if there's ever been a time to get involved and to feel that hope, so many others now. You're not going to be starting something alone. We're already well off and away, so it's the best time.
And there's more coming. I can't talk about it now. It's not PHA, it's not us, it's other groups that I work with, but there are some fantastic things coming. A lot of things are having to be done like underground, if you like, for obvious reasons. I mean, the legwork I did in the background, and originally before PHA I did it all quietly and in the background, because you don't want to let them know what's coming. But we're coming, and we're coming out fast and hard, and we're not the only group organization that are doing incredible work. There's others out there, and in the fullness of time that's going to become very, very clear. So there's so much to be hopeful for, there's so much to be excited about, and everything that's being built is being built in the right way, the right attitude, with the right focus. We're really particular in terms of our integrity, of making sure what we do is absolutely sound in terms of moving forwards, and every decision we make. We had this internal discussion yesterday about a logo and being amended by the hubs, and it was really interesting conversation, because it's actually like, we need to get this little thing right, because if we go in with the wrong attitude on this little issue, it affects everything else. It filtrates out. So it's just making sure your integrity stays intact, and everything you do is with the moral basis of being for the best for everyone. And all these groups are doing it, and it's all just wonderful, because we are genuinely creating a new, which brings equity in happiness and health.
Fantastic. Have faith in our innate creative abilities. You're seeing it here. Any needs that we have will always be met. We always have the ability to create whatever we need. It's just been kind of hijacked for a very long time, but people are realizing that actually it's down to us, and we can create whatever world we choose to live in.
Absolutely.
Together.
Here, here.
Yeah, get out there, guys. Just get out there, even if you've got an hour a week, whatever it is. I mean,
yeah,
I've managed to find a way to do this and throw my energy at it, and it's not so easy for everyone to do that. But I would say now is the time to push yourself. You know, don't make yourself ill, don't overdo it and whatever. But if you're somebody who's been sat on the fence a bit like, I'm not sure, throw yourself in it, go out and do it. And it start with like half an hour a day. You know, half an hour a day dedicated to it in some way or another, and build that up over time. Everybody can get involved, irrelevant of your physical or mental abilities. There's something everybody can do, and it's just profound how quick this is moving. It shows the people are ready, it shows the people want it, it shows that they're chomping at the bit to bring in the new and eradicate the old, and it's happening now. There is no better time to get off your butt and do it.
And you
get
know
involved.
what? When you do it, you'll feel the passion for what you're creating, and
there are so many benefits.
It's a feeling now like no other. So, you know, you just have to look at the children and say, blimey, we're actually creating a new world for humanity.
Got goosebumps.
I
just really,
people will love it. It's so good for people to do that, and to just, like you say, get the power back and say,
it's good for our mental well-being. You know, you're surrounded by like-minded people, you're going to feel supported, you're going to feel positive, you're going to feel that hope and that you're loved and you're cared for. And I tell you something, honestly, in the groups I sometimes go around and I just check in and see how things are doing, and I'm just filled with so much joy, because, you know, somebody might be having a bad day or things haven't gone quite right, and the people jump in. Everybody jumps in and helps and comes up with solutions and helps them out. My son broke up that awful rash this morning, and I just dropped it into one of the groups. I had a million responses. I'm exaggerating a bit, but I had a ton of responses straight away from people just offering to help and offering their knowledge and their expertise. You multiply that by a million, it's insane. And so the joy that comes from either being helped or helping others within a group of like-minded people is like nothing else. It will emotionally help you and support you as well.
It's what we're here for at the end of the day. We just forgot, we lost our way.
We're actually hardwired to be that way.
But it's been divided us.
They've done their very best to erode it and to make people self-centered, and but actually it always bursts through, and always at the darkest moments, actually, when you would think that would be when people were the most divided. That's when people really show what's in here. And it's something they cannot destroy. They've tried their best.
Can't destroy an ideology.
Absolutely not. So it's
at that moment when your knees are about to hit the ground that you will find how strong you are. You know, I don't know, I imagine some ladies in this group right now who have been through experiences in life where you just think, I just don't know how to keep going, and you're close to hitting the floor, and then boom, something comes along and you find your strength, you find the ability to get up and you wipe yourself down and you keep pushing. And now you don't have to do it alone. You're surrounded by people who will help you. And that's the beauty of all these groups and organizations and initiatives, and like Stand in the Park. I can't imagine for a minute just how incredibly supportive that you guys have been and your groups have been to others within the community, and you keep pushing forward. And now it's time to take it next level.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And I think we've said before that actually, we've alluded to it in this conversation as well, but absolutely everything that we do moving forward comes from that basis of building a community. It comes from that connection, from those, online meetings and interactions are great, don't get me wrong, but there's nothing quite like having those people around you that you can pop over to their house for a cuppa, or just meet in the park on a Sunday, just have that chat, share that energy. And whether you're doing outreach, whether you're building your community, whether you literally are just trying to keep your head above water, where it all starts is from that community. So it's yeah, it's fantastic. And we're now seeing, you know, all these people who have come together, these like-minded people that have met, be it through a stand in the park or extensions of other groups. We're seeing what everyone can achieve when they really do work together, and it is just incredible.
Absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely. So I just would encourage anybody to get involved with something. It doesn't have to be PHA, it could be something else, whatever resonates with you. Get involved. Keep an eye on our posts and so forth, because we will over the next few weeks be sharing the other groups who are focusing on, be it the economics, be it on education, be it on law, be it whatever, those that resonate, those that are genuinely, authentically working to, you know, get that power back to the people, back to communities. And what is so beautiful is it's just, we're all linking up now. You know, the wheat has been sorted from the chaff, let's say, and all those authentic groups who are serious have come together, and we're creating wonderful diagrams which show all of these areas of infrastructure being covered off by various different groups across the UK who are now working hand in hand. And it is that kind of connection, it is that solidity of partnership, if you like, and collaboration that will literally bring the new infrastructure. Yeah. It's simple.
Yeah, absolutely. Great.
Well, I have found this to be just an incredibly exciting. It's given me so much kind of, you know, renewed hope. I mean, I feel it a lot. You see everything that's going on, but kind of talking to you and hearing your passion and enthusiasm and all the incredible work you guys are doing, it just, yeah, it really fills my heart with joy. So yeah, I want to thank you, I'm sure, on behalf of everyone, for everything that you guys are doing behind the scenes. We've got just over 5 minutes left on our little Zoom, so if there's anything else you want to put out there, please do.
So yeah, I would suggest we've got a public meeting coming up on, I think it's the 11th, she says as she double checks very quickly. Yeah, public update Zoom on Monday the 11th of July, so look out for the details on that on our social media. And what we'll do is we'll bring everybody up to speed on the national and international front. We'll be giving more information on the PFFA, and any questions that you might have, ring.
We'll probably have an education system up and running.
Reach for the sky.
New transport,
we're not holding
system,
back.
a new rail system, whatever.
There's lots happening. And in the fullness of time, things will come to the fore. I will, as the last point, say though to everybody, do not panic when over the next 6 months you see them pushing the darkness, pushing. They're absolutely going to do that because they are genuinely fighting for their lives. We know that executive orders have been put into position as a point of fact for things like crimes against humanity, treason, high treason, and so forth. There's actually now a death penalty in the US for. So a lot of these guys know that if they are prosecuted for those crimes, this moment is them actually fighting for their lives. So they're going to throw everything they can. They're going to throw every narrative. Don't be surprised we hear about nuclear war and goodness knows what, food reductions, fuel prices going through the roof, energy prices. They're going to throw it at us. Yeah. In all honesty, this is my personal opinion, post midterms in November, we're going to see a massive twist and things I think will start moving upwards. But don't be surprised, to put it that way, if things seem very, very dark and heavy for the next 6 months. Actually, it is just their death throes. Focus on building the new. Come together to protect each other and, you know, completely tell them where to get lost. Ignore them. Just, no, we're done with you. Focus on building the new. Focus on the hope. Focus on supporting each other. Be a bit sensible, get a bit prepared, you know, stock up on some food, make sure you've got candles, all that sort of stuff in case they do decide to play silly buggers. But don't panic. This is temporary, and reach out to those in the community, support each other, and you'll come through the other side feeling so much better for it. So yeah, just don't panic.
And I
there's
think,
a lot,
you know, having that eye on, you know, perhaps what is coming, you know, it kind of just really underlines, you know, that right now where we're not under so much pressure, now is the time to really kind of, you know, just throw caution to the wind, get involved in your community, get involved in the things that you have passion for, and really get involved with the incredible things that are happening. Do the part now so that you're not coming into the winter from a place of fear, from a place of panic. And because when you build things on a place of fear and panic, it never has the same effect. You know, what we're creating now is coming from a place of love and of, you know, integrity. And I think, you know, now is the time. Do it now. Do it now before, you know, before it all goes to hell.
Brilliant.
Yeah. great. Well,
Thanks for having us again.
yeah.
Thank you so much for having us. Yeah, it's brilliant. Always lovely to catch up with you ladies. It's great. Thank you.
Yeah, we will
Wonderful.
do it again. There will be lots of updates, I'm sure. So I'm certain we'll be seeing you again very soon.
Yeah,
But yeah,
absolutely.
take care. Thank you for everything.
Brilliant.
Thank you so much,
so much.
ladies.
Take care,
Thanks,
guys.
Take care.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.